Hello everybody, my name is Jeff and I'm with Source Audio, and I just want to thank you all for signing in today, and thanks to Gonner for inviting us to talk a little bit about our pedals. So today I just want to give you a grand overview of all it is that we do and give you a sense of how our pedals sound and how you can use them to really enhance your guitar, bass, or keyboard sound. Today I'm going to be working with my friend Paul Candelore. He does repairs, he also does quality control here at Source Audio, and he is an excellent guitar player, so he's going to make our pedals sound very nice. So let's get started. Our pedals come in two primary groups. First we have our smaller 1 series pedals. These pedals have a single foot switch, they have a simple 4-knob control panel, they have a 3-position toggle switch with 2 banks, so that's a total of 6 presets that you can save within the pedal itself. It also has stereo ins and outs, and it has full MIDI functionality with the addition of the Neuro hub. Now, great examples of the smaller 1 series box is the C4 Synth, the Spectrum Intelligent Filter. We have our EQ2 Programmable EQ. We also have our modulation pedals, which include the Gemini Chorus and Lunar Phaser. And then we also have our drive pedals, which include the Aftershock bass distortion and the LA Lady Overdrive. Next up is our larger 2 Footswitch pedals. These pedals include the Nemesis Delay, the Ventris dual reverb, and the Collider Delay+Reverb. Now these pedals all have 2 foot switches, and they have a center effect selector dial where you can choose between 12 different effects. They've got a 6-knob control panel. You can save up to 8 presets in the pedal, and they do things like tap tempo. There's nice external control. They are also stereo. And they have full MIDI control with a dedicated MIDI in and through jack. Now, 2 of the pedals, the Collider and the Ventris, have dual DSP architecture. That means there are 2 signal processors in the pedal. Now, this not only gives us immense processing power, it also allows you to combine 2 effects simultaneously, which you can run in series or parallel or split them to 2 different outputs. So at the center of all of our pedals are the Neuro Desktop Editor and Neuro Mobile App. So all the pedals work beautifully on their own. You can pull them out of the box, plug them in, just use the controls that are on the face of the pedal, and you can get tons of great sounds, just like a traditional effects pedal. However, if you want to go a little deeper, you can use the Neuro editors. Now, for example, the Ventris dual reverb, if you plug that into the Neuro editor, it has a whole collection of additional parameters that you can adjust. There are also additional reverb engines in there that you can use. Now, once you've tweaked your sound and made a preset, you can either burn it directly to the pedal, you can save it to your own personal preset library in the cloud, and you can also publish it so that anybody with a Ventris dual reverb can download your preset to their pedal. And vice versa, you can download other people's presets very easily to your pedal. All right, so I just want to quickly show you how to download the Neuro Desktop Editor and the Neuro Mobile App. Let's start with the Neuro Desktop Editor. So you're going to want to go to our website, sourceaudio.net, and it is a free download. So if you just go over here to support, right there, editors and firmware, click on that. Opens our editors and firmware page. Just scroll down. Here are all the Neuro software downloads. You can see you can choose between Windows or Mac. I have a Mac, so I'm just going to click on the Mac download. Ask me where I want to save it. Saving it to downloads. Then I just open that up, and you can see it will take you through all the stages. It's a very simple process. Okay, so my Neuro Desktop is opened up. So when you connect it, you're going to use a mini USB cable going from your computer to the USB port on the top of the pedal. You see when I plug a pedal in the right-hand corner up here, the name of the pedal shows up. I've got the Ventris reverb plugged in. And there are a few things here. This little arrow icon, if there is an update available, this will be framed in yellow, and you just click that and follow the process, and you can update your pedal. This gear icon is where you can access the hardware settings. And if I click the wrench icon, that opens the sound editor, and I can start editing sounds. Now let's move on to mobile. If I go to either Google Play or the App Store, I can search for Source Audio Neuro, and that'll pop up. Just download it. And you are going to take the Neuro cable that comes with the pedal. It is an 1/8 inch TRS to a 1/4 inch TRS, and connect it from the headphone jack. If your phone doesn't have a headphone jack, you can use one of those dongle adapters. So you go from there to input number 2 on the pedal. Turn the volume up all the way on your phone. If you run into any problems, there are some videos on our website that will help you troubleshoot. Once you open your Neuro editor, you can see you can scroll through all the different pedals, whatever pedal you're connected to. Just hit that and it will open up the sound editor and you can start editing. So we really are it's our goal to create just the most massive sound library in the effects pedal world. And we are up to about 6,000 presets at last count. So let's dive into these pedals one at a time and see what they all can do. Let's start with the larger 1 series boxes. I'm going to show you first the Nemesis Delay. This is really the pedal that puts Source Audio on the map, with guitar players especially. So half of this pedal are excellent replications of vintage style delays, like the analog delay, which is based on an Electro-Harmonix Memory Man, the tape delay, which is inspired by an Echoplex. There is the noise tape, which is inspired by a Roland Space Echo. Just really meticulously built engines to replicate those sounds perfectly. And then as you move over to the other side of the pedal, you've got the more contemporary sounds. You've got things like pitch shifting delay, which can change the pitch of your repeats to any interval that you choose. There's also something called the Helix, which is an octave up reverse delay, which creates a wonderful angelic sound. So let's dive into a couple of these sounds and give you a sense of what you can do. I'm going to start off with a real bread and butter delay sound. This is the tape delay, which again is inspired by the Echoplex. All right, let's jump into the Ventris dual reverb. This is our first pedal with dual DSP architecture. And like I said before, that allows you to combine two different reverbs simultaneously, which is a great feature and is very musical. It's set up similar to the Nemesis, where half the sounds are traditional reverb sounds. For instance, there's a plate reverb in there, a spring reverb, there's some great room sounds, there's also a lexicon hall sound. But then there are also more contemporary sounds, like there is a shimmer reverb in there, a reverse reverb. There's also something called the offspring, which is a sound like I guarantee you have not heard before. So let's just jump in and hear a couple of these sounds. Let's start with a lexicon hall sound. Now let's quickly check out the shimmer engine. And finally, you've got to hear the offspring reverb. And since we're plugged into the Ventris, let's go over and take a look at the Neuro Desktop Editor, because the editor for the Ventris is really a powerful tool. So if I hit this wrench icon over here, that will open my Ventris Reverb Sound Editor. And you can see, on the pedal there's 6 knobs, and they are roughly represented by these 6 knobs right here. But you'll see that there's also all these other controls. So I can really get in there and fine-tune my preset. So this is my A reverb. If I were to scroll down, I would see all the controls for my B reverb. So this is a very nice visual for editing, making detailed presets. I've got my modes here. So I've got, if I hit this drop down, I've got single A reverb, single B reverb. I can combine them in parallel, so A plus B, or I can cascade them, A running into B. I'm going to stick with a single reverb right now. And down here is my reverb engines drop down. So if I hit that, I've got the 12 engines that are on the face of the pedal, but there's also a couple extra ones like the outboard spring engine or the metal box, which are both great sounds. And now let's take a look at the cloud, because a lot of people have published some great presets for the Ventris. So I just go over here to this little cloud icon, click that, and you can see this is where all the presets that everybody has created are stored. I can actually, I can filter these. So I'm going to select just the presets that are made for the Ventris Reverb. Hit submit. And here are a bunch of Ventris Reverb presets. Now I can sort them either by date, so the newest ones first, or I can click this and sort them by favorite, which is like the most popular ones. And there's a lot of great sounds in here. Let's just quickly check out a couple. You'll see how easy it is. All I have to do, here's a fun one called the Dronely one. If I just click this, it automatically puts it into my Ventris Reverb and I can audition the preset. So that is a really fun ambient preset. Let's go down, check out some different ones. Big Sky Plate Hillsong. Let's click that. Seems like a nice ambient sound. Okay, very nice, subtle, but big sound. I know this whale one's is very cool, so let's try that. Yeah, that's pretty wild. So if I wanted to save this sound, I could just click back to my device. I can hit Save As, then I can just type in a name, select which preset position I want to save it in. I'm going to save it in preset position number 3. Hit save, and there it is. Whales is in my number 3 preset position. Okay, but what if I want to create and publish my own sound? Well, first I have to create the sound, so let's just quickly come up with something. I'm going to do a dual cascade, A running into B. I'm going to, actually I'm going to do the echo verb, and I am going to run it into, let me select my Reverb B engine, a shimmer engine. So let's see what we have here. It's nice, I like it already. I'm going to turn down the feedback so that it doesn't repeat so many times. I like that, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch the pitch of the shimmer engine. So right now it's set to an octave up, but let's set it up a perfect fifth. That's always a nice effect. Okay, that's a cool sound. So let's save that. What I'm going to do is hit Save As, and I'm going to call this Shimmer Fifths. And I'm going to put it over here in preset number 2. Save that. Select Shimmer Fifths, and then hit Save to Cloud. And you can see this comes up. I give it a name. I can give it a description right here. And then if I have a YouTube clip or a SoundCloud link, I can paste those right in here so that anybody who wants to, get an idea of what this preset is all about, they can listen to the YouTube clip, and it is right there contained in the listing of the preset. And next up is our Collider Delay plus Reverb. I often describe this pedal as a greatest hits pedal, because what we did is take the most essential sounds from the Nemesis Delay and the Ventris Reverb and put them into one box. It's really simple to use. We actually tried to step away from the Neuro editor for this pedal. We just wanted to create a pedal that was super stage friendly, that just had all the sounds that you needed in one simple to use small package. So the interface is really beautiful in its simplicity. You've got 5 delay sounds, and there's a little toggle switch here. And if you switch over to the delay side of the toggle switch, all of the controls control the delay side of the pedal. And then you can switch the toggle over to the reverb. And then all the knobs control the reverb effects. And it's got two foot switches. The one on the left here engages and disengages the delay effect, and the one on the right engages and disengages the reverb effect. Very simple. It's got beat divisions for the delay and tap tempo here in the left foot switch. So let's hear a couple of nice sound combinations. I'm going to start with a analog delay running into a plate reverb. Just a very simple classic sound. Now by default, this pedal runs in series, delay running into the reverb. But with the unlock function, you can also do things like run reverb into the delay, or run two delays or two reverbs at the same time. Now you can run those in series, or you can run them in parallel. You can also do things like split them off. So one delay is coming out of one amplifier and another delay is coming out of another amplifier. So here is an example of reversing the order and running a reverb into a delay. Okay, so I want to unlock the reverb side of the pedal. So what I'm going to do is move the knobs toggle switch over to the reverb side, hold down the control input button, and move the effects selector knob till I go past the room reverb and into the delay side of the pedal. As you can see, now I've got two delays running at the same time. Now I just need to do the same process with the delay side, and we've reversed the order to a reverb into a delay. Okay, now I want to do one of my favorite tricks with the Collider Delay plus Reverb. I'm going to run two delays simultaneously, and I'm going to set them both to different beat divisions and run them to different amplifiers. So to do this, I need to go into the Neuro Editor, and I'm going to select two analog delays. I then need to run them in parallel mode and select this split stereo option. I've got one of the delays set to dotted eighth notes, the other delay set to quarters, and they're going to come out of different speakers. So you'll hear, if I engage this foot switch, you're just going to hear the quarter notes coming out of one speaker. Disengage that, turn on the other foot switch, now you'll hear dotted eighth notes coming out of the other speaker. Now let's play them both and hear them together. Next up is the C4 synth, our modular synth in a box. You know, a lot of synth pedals out there have an effects selector and you can choose from 7 or 8 different synth sounds, but the C4 synth gives you the full power of a Eurorack modular synth in pedal form. So out of the box, it comes with 6 great synth sounds. But if you connect it to the Neuro Editor, the world just opens up. To date, there are over 2,000 C4 Synth presets in the Neuro Editor, and there are some great ones. So I'm going to jump over to the Neuro Editor because it really makes it easier for me to show you just exactly what this pedal is capable of. Okay, so let's open the Neuro Editor for the C4 Synth. Just hit the gear icon, and you can see I've got a bunch of presets already saved in the pedal. I've got some good ones in here. What else is there? Toothy Twins is cool. Yeah, a lot of good sounds in here. So how about we go over to the cloud and see some of the presets that people have posted. I happen to know, I'm going to filter this so it's just C4 Synth presets. I happen to know that somebody just posted a bunch of really cool sounds. So yeah, it's this guy JJT Guitar, and there's this one preset that I really like right here. It's called JW 2 Saw Sine Square Octave Down Fun 2. So not the most memorable name, but it's really a great sound. So just a really nasty sound. So let's quickly go over what some of the tools that are in the C4 Synth Neuro Editor. So up top, we've got our master controls, and this is where you find things like your input gain, your overall output volume. You've got some EQing, you've got a wet-dry mix, a lot of useful controls. Then as we move down, we've got our 4 voices, and this is where most of the action happens. This is where we select what type of sound we're using and how they are mixed together. So up here is where you select what type of voice you're using. So he's using all pure synth oscillators. So he's got this saw wave here. You can also use sine wave oscillators or square wave oscillators. You can also use some of the pitch shifting engines, which are not pure synths, but you can certainly get some cool pitch shifting and get some very nice synth-ish sounds. Not pure synths, but if you want a pure monophonic synth, you want to select either the saw, sine, or square waves. So he is mixing together 2 saw waves, 1 sine wave down here in voice 3, and down here in voice 4, he's got 1 square wave. So how about we can turn all these voices off and hear what they sound like individually. So this is voice 1. It's just a simple saw wave. Not too powerful, but when I add this second saw wave, which I can see he's got detuned a little bit, so it adds a little bit of wideness. Then down here in voice 3, we've got a sine wave that is actually set 2 octaves down. So this is going to be super low. Some of you may not hear it if your speakers are not great. If I play higher, you can hear it. And then finally, voice 4 is 1 octave down. So that's really going to add the girth. Yeah, very nice preset. Let's hear a few more C4 presets with Paul on guitar. This first one uses polyphonic pitch shifting for a polyphonic synth-like sound. next up is the Spectrum Intelligent Filter, a perfect pedal in my opinion. First off, it's got beautifully accurate recreations of both a Mutron envelope filter and a Love Tone Meatball. Just really sought after envelope filter sounds. They sound great on bass. So it's got that on the surface, very easy to dial in. But of course, in the Source Audio tradition, there's also tons of other things going on that you can access with the Neuro Editor. There is octave down effects, octave up effects. There are over 20 different filters you can choose from, filter types. And there's also LFO options, just very powerful. So let's jump in and hear a few sounds. We're also going to include some clips from our old friend Nathan Navarro using this pedal with the bass. Alright, I have in my hands here the Ultrawave Multiband processor. There is also a version for the bass. This is absolutely one of our most ambitious pedals, certainly one of the most unique pedals. There's nothing else out there that quite sounds like the Ultrawave. So let me explain the basic concept. So it takes your guitar, bass, or synthesizer signal and splits it up into as many as 10 different frequency bands. You can then control each of those frequency bands individually. That means if you're split into 10 separate frequency bands, you've got a separate drive and level control for each band. You can also do something called multiband tremolo, which applies a different phase of a tremolo to each of the frequency bands. So you not only get cool tremolo effects, you can also get something that sounds similar to a step sequencer. And there are more than 30 different drive types available in this pedal. You've got everything from modern synthy sounds to real great high gain sounds. There are also great traditional overdrive sounds. And it's got a very powerful and independent compressor control. So it gives you studio level controls of your compression. You can actually use the Ultrawave as just a standalone compressor, and it sounds amazing. So let's just go through a few presets so you can hear just the massive range of tones that you can get out of the Ultrawave. I'm also going to include a few clips from our old friend Nathan Navarro again to show you how it sounds with the bass. Next, I want to talk about our modulation family of pedals. The modulation family includes the Gemini chorus, the Lunar phaser, and the Mercury flanger. So let me explain to you how this works. If you buy the Lunar phaser, it comes out of the box with 3 great phaser sounds. For example, this has a univibe sound. It has a 4-stage phaser, which is inspired by a phase 90. And it also has an 8-step phaser, which is just a very complex phaser sound. However, if I connect this to the Neuro Desktop Editor, I can grab sounds that are available in the Gemini chorus and put it right into my Lunar phaser, and vice versa. All 3 of these pedals share the same Neuro editing surface, so they are essentially all the same pedal, just with a different paint job. So let's dive in and just hear a few of my favorite modulation sounds from our modulation pedals. And similar to our modulation family of pedals, we've got our Overdrive family of pedals. This family includes the Kingmaker Fuzz, LA Lady Overdrive, and Aftershock based distortion. So the Kingmaker Fuzz, for example, comes with 3 great fuzz sounds, but you can go into the library of over 50 different overdrive, fuzz, or distortion sounds and burn any of them directly to this pedal. All of these pedals also have dual gain stages, which you can run in parallel, or you can stack them, or you can run different drive types to different outputs. So let's just go through and hear some of the different overdrive and fuzz sounds that are available for all 3 of these pedals. So this is the EQ2 Programmable Equalizer. I always describe this pedal as a very simple idea that was just executed perfectly. So it's a 10-band equalizer. It has up to 8 presets available in the pedal by itself. It's also got dedicated MIDI in and through jacks, so you can access up to 128 different presets with MIDI messages. It is a stereo pedal. It's got stereo ins and outs, and there are 2 independent EQ controls. So you can have one EQ curve going out of one output to 1 amp, and another completely different set of EQ settings going to another amp. It is a graphic EQ. It is also a parametric EQ. So with a parametric EQ, your frequency bands are not locked to one position. You can move them up and down the frequency spectrum. Each band also has a Q control, so you can adjust how skinny or how wide that frequency is. It's got up to 12 dB of additional output boost, and there is a built-in tuner. It's just a great pedal for all kinds of rigs. All right, so that's it for now. Again, huge thanks to Goner for inviting us here to talk for a little while about Source Audio effects pedals. We're going to do a quick Q&A right after this video. It's going to be a live stream, so stick around and have some questions ready. We're always happy to talk to people and help them, understand a little better what our pedals can do. So, see you in a bit. Thank you. Goodbye.